welcome back to Belmont Bunch. Today we're talking about the Islanders losing their 11th straight game, but continuing the 3-game point streak. Nick, we're going to the playoffs, right? Yep. So, the Islanders started this game playing, I don't know, more inspired hockey than the last dozen games, which is, not hard to do. And they were rewarded with a stupid Mayfield penalty and a power play goal, straight away. So, in case you were getting your hopes up, don't. And Hagel, I believe, tipped it in. It looked like a ridiculous shot from DeBrincat at first, but apparently it got tipped in by a guy whose name rhymes with bagel. So it's 1-0 Chicago. But the Islanders played a decent first. Varley looked fairly sharp in this game. So 1-0 after one. The Islanders in the second period get a power play goal, and the Isles. The Isles now. He's showing me the Winnipeg Toronto game. The Isles power play all of a sudden is getting going. They score their 3rd and 5 attempts with a Pajot tip. Good Lord, did he need that goal? And it was interesting. It was at the end of a power play. It looks like it was the second unit out there. And Pajot just got in front in the Anders Lee office area and tips in a Sebastian Aho shot. So Sebastian Aho being used in the way that he should be, which is on the power play because he's not as good defensively. And, just throwing pucks to the net. The Isles on the power play looking invested more so in throwing the puck to the net in the last couple of games, and it's paying off for them. So that ties it up. The Islanders get through 2, tied. Looking fairly decent. Their game, they're looking more dangerous in the offensive zone than they have in a while. Part of that is the team getting healthier, with COVID, and hopefully, when Brock Nelson comes back, that'll be a huge piece in looking like a competent team again. But again, even when looking good, only 1 goal through 2, only 15 shots through 2. It's not going to get it done. Even with a team looking to put the puck on net, on the power play, 5-on-5, I'm still, it's not good enough. A lot of times I'm noticing when it comes back to the D-men are throwing it, purposely wide of the net, looking for that tip. Guess what? We are not getting that tip, that specific type of tip. And maybe just put it towards the net. Maybe you're better off just making the goalie make a stop, even if it's an easy one. Although I also complain about logo shots. I'm going to complain about everything. Just know that that's going to happen. Ryan Strome. Dylan Strome scores and celebrates, very excitedly. And it could be because it's his second of the year, but because we're the Islanders and we ask, how does this affect the Islanders? We probably say that he was yelling in honor of his brother Ryan, who the Islanders wronged, with air quotes. So 2-1 there, and it's a frustrating one because it's a guy just left completely open. It's a couple of things that the Islanders in their D zone miss. As AJ pointed out, Wahlstrom not great on the back check, but also I thought Parise cutting in and guarding a guy that I thought Aho had covered didn't help. And then on top of that, Aho just kind of poked it out right to Strome. So a little bit of everything going on there, all wrong. 2-1 there. And it kind of feels like I turned to my brother and we're like, that's game, right? It's funny that any deficit for the Islanders feels like it's insurmountable. But the Isles show a lot of fight in the last couple minutes. They're doing a good job keeping pucks in. Noah Dobson played one of his best games of the year. He was roving around the ice tonight, and he gets rewarded. He gets a puck. It's around in the offensive zone for a while. Wahlstrom had a lot of good chances, especially on a couple of power plays they got, just ripping it towards the net. Fleury holding his ground. And the Islanders not getting as much of the screens that they would like. And a lot of shots to the logo, like I said. And finally, with 2 seconds left, with the puck all over, with 10 seconds left, it went to the corner, and I was just like, that's game. But Barzal pulls it back, waits, I thought too long, but he's an NHL player and I'm not. And he slides it to Noah Dobson, who, with the help of a huge Anders Lee net front presence, I'm blanking on the word right now, screen, there it is, rips one goal. The point streak survives, and that's all that matters. If the Islanders go 5-10-67, we're probably still finishing last. But let me tell you, you flip half those games, and who knows? The Islanders tie it there. And the last couple of games, overtime's been really embarrassing. So the Islanders played it extremely safely tonight. And how safely? They didn't put a puck on net. They just skated around the zone, very comfortable taking the puck out of the zone and just not letting Chicago have it. In the last 2 seconds, Dobson held Seth Jones' stick. I have heard a great idea that if you commit a penalty in OT at that point, that the OT should be extended for that penalty. I think that's a great idea because Noah Dobson does the absolute right thing by what the rules are, which is 2 seconds left and the power play basically won't exist. Just tear the guy down. Just haul him down. So 2-2, we go to a shootout. Good attempt by Wally. Good stop by Fleury. Great attempt again on the second go by Barzal. Fleury was standing tall. Varley made a great stop on Taves, which is good because screw Taves and screw the Hawks in general. But Patrick Kane, when he's up and he has a chance to take the lead, you're just like, yeah. And he roofs one. And then Beauvillier, not a terrible attempt, but another good stop. And the Islanders have lost 11 in a row. But let me tell you, the last 3 games, boy, are they fighting. I don't care. The season's over. And I think the sooner that people realize that, the better. My marker died halfway through putting together the scoreboard. And the Islanders died way earlier than the half point of the season this year. So Islanders are 5-15, really. If you take the losses and put them together. And they're not good. They have some easier games this week, starting with Ottawa. If they lose to Ottawa, I think even the people that are holding out hope will give up. And I think they probably should have already, but they absolutely will. The Islanders are going to have to play at like 110, 115 point pace to make the playoffs at this point. And though the Metro is allowing them an opportunity by losing a lot of games recently, I don't think it's going to happen. So this feels like a completely lost season. And I will very quickly take this time to say Lou Lamoriello didn't do a good enough job in the offseason. Getting Chara was funny, but he should be a 7th D-man. To be fair, once we discovered that Robin Salo can play 20 minutes a night, I think Chara should be gone. So then that's utilization, and that's more of a Barry Trotz issue. And I also disagree with Barry Trotz philosophically on the idea that veterans should always get more leeway. I think when you've got a guy like Chara, who's been as bad as he has for as long as he has, maybe it's time to move on. And Sebastian Aho has even been better recently. So that's the video. I had a lot to say. The Islanders suck. And we'll see you for the next one. The link in the description for the podcast or something. I don't care. Goodbye.